On day 1, I spawned in as Doey the Doughman in the Playtime Co factory. I was in the center of my safe haven home, surrounded by all the innocent toys I've sworn to protect. Don't worry guys, no one will hurt you while I'm around. However, a cold chill filled the room. The main doors burst open as the ice doctor came charging in, spreading his dark ice everywhere.
You thought you could hide from me? I will rule this factory, and not a single toy will stand against me!
I watched in horror as the doctor's eyes hit the other toys, freezing them solid in a single blow. I rushed in to stop him, but that's when the ice started to surround me. It began to creep closer and closer as I felt it freeze over my body. No! My rage boiled within me as roaring flames covered my entire body. I gained 5 more hearts and new abilities as I was transformed into Fire Doey. What just happened? But because of this, the cold ground below began to melt, sending me falling into the unknown. On day 2, I fell into an abandoned hall deeper within the factory. Those toys, I need to save them. But as I said this, a nearby TV suddenly flickered.
You can never escape from my sight. Oh, Yarnaby.
A cold wind crept through the air as a massive ice toy revealed itself.
Yes, master!
Oh no! I began to run as Yarnaby dashed towards me. He was catching up to me. And in my panic, I didn't realize that I'd run into a dead end. Ah! Stay away! Suddenly, I let out a burst of fire around me, which struck him at close range. I have fire powers. That's not gonna stun him for long. I ran back to another hallway, getting as far away as I could, until I reached a stop. Across the way was an exit, with only a few hanging platforms to get across. Here goes nothing. I quickly leapt between the platforms, but noticed that I couldn't make the last jump. I then noticed my fiery form made my dough body even more stretchy, allowing me to stretch out to the other side. Yes! But before I could escape, Yarnaby came rushing down the hall and leapt over the pit with ease.
No one escapes my master!
On day 3, Ice Yarnaby had caught up to me, and I was surely done for. But just then, Poppy and Kissy Missy came rushing into the room.
Watch out!
Huh? I quickly jumped to the side as the tall pink toy rushed up and hit Yarnaby back. Whoa, you saved me?
Of course, Doey. You're the only way we can stop the Ice Doctor. Now come with us.
With no other choice, I followed the toys all the way to a dark prison? What are you gonna do to me?
Relax. There's a way to stop the Ice Doctor in here. You'll know it when you see it.
Right, then let's start looking. The others and I searched around the area until I found a strange fiery glow coming from one of the cells. I walked towards the bars, and with my dough body, I was able to slip right through them. Whoa, a fire fist? However, a figure dropped down behind me. Wah! I fearfully jumped back, causing the flaming item to mold into my body. Because of this, I felt the fire within me begin to grow. I gained 5 more hearts and a brand new ability. Oh yeah! I stretch out my arms with a fire punch, hitting back the ruined toys and breaking open the cell. Whoa, that clay hand gave me powers?
Doey!
Oh no, something's wrong. On day 4, I rushed to the prison, finding Poppy in front of a cage.
Look, that's one of the Ice Doctor's 6 machines in the factory. They are what keep him alive, but they're dangerous.
Well, we'll see about that.
Wait!
But I didn't listen and stretched down under the doorway to enter inside. As I did, noises went off all around me as more ruined toys started to flood into the room. They all rushed in and bit right into me. Ah, stop that!
Now you are food and we are hungry!
I had no choice but to fight back and use my fire punches to keep them away. I was quickly starting to be overwhelmed though, until a blue light filled the room.
Ah! It's watching!
Huh? All of the ruined toys started to flee as I looked towards the machine and saw the Ice Doctor's eye.
What are you doing? Stay away from my machine!
Not gonna happen. I swung out my fists and slammed into the machine, breaking it in a single blow. Because of this, the doctor's screen completely shut off. Haha, it worked! But then the machine exploded from my flames, causing me to fall into its destruction. Ah! On day 5, I opened my eyes to see that I was now in a strange open room with a large stage. Oh, where am I? Just then, I started to hear music coming from behind the curtain. That's not creepy at all. I was about to go investigate when the music got louder and louder until the curtain burst open. There was the giant Pianosaurus.
You're the fire toy I've been hearing about. Give me your power!
What? The giant toy stomped towards me, trying to crush me. I began to fight back, but my fists just kept bouncing right off of him. Ah! What in the world did they make you out of? He charged forward, slamming me back against the wall and knocking me down to low hearts. I then looked up and saw the heavy stage lights hanging in the middle of the room. I hope this works. Pianosaurus came to attack me again, but I used my elastic body to bounce up and hit the stage lights, causing him to fall and crash down onto him.
You don't understand. I have to stop the Ice Doctor.
Wait, what did you say? Pianosaurus finally calmed down and led me over to the entrance of an open cavern with piles of discarded toys. This place is horrible.
I know, and one of the doctor's crazy machines is to blame for it. It's in there.
I looked to where he pointed and saw the entrance to a lab far on the other side of the cavern. Come on, what are we waiting for? I began to make my way through, but as I did, a loud alarm sounded off above the entrance, causing its vault doors to slam shut. We then heard noises all around us as mini Huggy Wuggies came rushing in.
Ah!
On day 6, Pianosaurus started to freak out and stomp all around the area, running from the tiny toys. Calm down, dude.
No, too many, too tiny. Oh, I'm getting out of here.
The large toy began to run off, which thankfully grabbed all of their attention, making them chase after him. Wait! Guess I'm going in alone. I searched around the area for another way inside, and after climbing up a pile of toys, I found a tunnel that wrapped around. I began to bounce between the platforms, making my way across, until I was able to enter a lab. But as I stepped foot inside, I stepped on a pressure plate. An icy doorway slammed shut behind me as 3 deadly machines began to activate. It was a trap. On day 7, powerful blasts of ice began to shoot all throughout the room. Yeah! Oh no! If I don't break these machines, I'm done for! The air in the room started to grow even colder as I quickly rushed over to the closest one and burned it down with my abilities. However, the snow was really starting to build up, causing me to move even slower. I was thankfully able to destroy another machine, but at this point, I could barely move. Is this it? It can't be! I thought I wasn't gonna make it, but an inner rage built within me once again. A fiery aura began to surround me as I floated up in the air. I let out a yell like no other, completely destroying the 3rd machine and melting the rest of the room. Whoa, how did I do that? With this weird victory, I went over and destroyed the 2nd Ice Doctor machine.
Very clever, Doey.
What the? I turned around to see the Ice Doctor appeared on the TV above the door.
It's amusing you think you're going to stop me. Let me show you something I've been working on.
Suddenly, the main lab doors slid open as an Ice Doctor minion came rushing in. On day 8, the Doctor's minion rushed in and hit me with a powerful ice attack. Ah! After all the traps, I was already super weak and didn't stand a chance against him. I barely dodged his follow-up attack, which broke down one of the walls in the lab. Now's my chance. I quickly rushed down the hall as the minion chased right after me. I stretched down to squeeze into a doorway, revealing that I was now in a storage room. I gotta hide Quick! I quietly began to move around the room, using the shelves to hide from the robot.
You can't hide from me, Doey. I see everything.
He used his X-ray abilities and started to scan throughout the room. Think! I had an idea and quickly set fire to a shelf across the way so that it could grab the robot's attention.
Movement spotted.
It began to move towards the fire as I made my way towards the exit. But as I did, I tripped over a toy, grabbing his attention. Oh no! The doctor's minion saw me and ran in for one final hit to take me down until I heard a voice echo from down the hall.
Hold on!
Pianosaurus came bursting into the room, knocking the robot away.
Here, take this!
He threw me over another flaming clay hand. It merged into my form, causing the fire within me to heat up again. I gained 5 more hearts and grew into an even stronger dough man. Whoa, where'd you find this? The doctor's minion recovered and came to take us down, but I sent out a new fire beam, which pushed him back. I was gonna hit him again, but it retreated.
Come on, I want to show you something.
On days 9 to 10, the two of us quickly left the area, as he brought me to the play care to meet up with Poppy, Kissy, and the mini Huggies.
You'll never believe it. The mini Huggies didn't want to eat me. They were trying to give us the fire clay hand.
Oh, nice. Just then, I saw a small toy running into Home Sweet Home. Baba Chops? What is she up to? I ran after her until making it to the center of Home Sweet Home. Baba, I know you're in here. I looked up to see that another flaming hand was there on the second floor. I quickly stretched down and bounced up to the next floor to grab it. But before I could, a black cloud blocked my vision. Ah! What is this? As the cloud cleared, the hand was gone.
See ya, dough man.
Huh? There across the balcony was Baba Chops with the item. Hey, what are you? But she didn't answer me and leapt down below the floor. I quickly bounced down into the hole myself. But when I landed, I saw Baba use the hand to shoot out a ball of magma that started to burn down the room. What are you doing?
I don't trust you! Not you or any other toy!
On days 11 to 12, I chased Baba throughout the halls of Home Sweet Home as she continued to fire out magma everywhere she could. I easily ignored the fire, but the more she attacked, the more the building began to shake. Baba, you're gonna bring this whole place down.
It's better than being captured by stupid toys like you!
What? Suddenly, the hallway collapsed between us, cutting me off from her.
Ha! That's what you get, you big, dumb, lovable toy?
Baba tried to make a break for a nearby door, but I punched it shut before she could escape. Please, just give me the hand.
Never!
As she said this, the ceiling above her began to crack and was about to crush her. I dove forward and pushed her out of the way.
Wait, you don't want to hurt me?
No, I'm trying to save all of the toys. With that, I escorted Baba out of Home Sweet Home and back into the play care.
All right, I'm sorry, but another toy took my friends, and I can't just give up this hand until I know they're safe.
Okay, what if I help you save them? Then would you give me a hand?
That joke makes me want to say no, but follow me.
On days 13 to 14, Baba Chops brought me to a large cavern with mining equipment all around.
My friends are in that room over there.
All right, looks easy enough. But as I walked out into the open, Baba hit me behind cover. Hey!
Look!
Just then, a bright red beam scanned across the entire place. What was that?
I don't know, but we have no chance at getting to the door while it's still active. The control room must have a kill switch.
All right, stay here. I watched the scanner and timed my movements to weave in and out of cover as I crept closer to the control room. But soon, I ran out of cover to hide behind. I knew I needed to get closer, so I had an idea and blasted out one of the nearby stalactites to create a pile of rubble near the scanner. With it, I was able to get close enough to leap up and into the control room. I flipped the kill switch, causing it to shut off. But just then, the room began to shake as a voice echoed into the cavern.
What? are you doing here?
I felt the crane I was on beginning to break, threatening to collapse with me inside. I quickly bounced off and barely managed to land safely to the side.
Hurry! It knows we're here!
On days 15 to 16, Baba and I rush into the next room, where I saw that all of the smiling critters were sleeping next to the red gas production machine. Wait, that means suddenly the monstrous form of Catnap slammed down, standing between us and the critters.
Go away! You're disturbing my sleep.
Let them go, Catnap! This is wrong!
Wrong! My gas has put them into a peaceful sleep. They are safe this way.
Catnap then reached back to claw Baba, but I jumped in the way, taking the hit instead.
You don't get it! I'm saving them!
The air around me started to fill with horrifying red smoke, as Catnap was putting me to sleep. No, Because of his attack, I was too weak to fight it, and passed out. I opened my eyes to see that I was now in a strange hallway. What the? I gotta get out of here! I began to run down the hall, just as a figure crept around the corner.
Leave us alone!
Ah! Out of fear, I shot out my fire beam, which cut right through the figure, as it disappeared.
What? Are you scared?
Oh, you've got to be kidding me! On days 17 to 18, I was running around the halls as more and more nightmare catnaps appeared and swiped out at me. There has to be some way out of here!
You can never leave!
Ah! I continued to race down the halls as the nightmares' hits were taking a toll on my health. But just then, I saw a doorway at the end of the long hall with a bright light coming from it. That's it!
No! No!
As I began to dash down, I felt the ground shift below me. The floor started to fall down and reveal a deadly void. Come on! Come on! I was about to make it to the exit when one last nightmare appeared in front of me. I squeezed down into a shorter size to dodge its attacks as I ran into the door's light. My vision suddenly came to, back inside of gas production. There, I saw Baba was trying her best to attack Catnap.
Let them go!
She fearlessly ran up to attack, but Catnap easily swatted her away with his claws. She then dropped the flaming clay hand. That's it! I ran up and grabbed it, causing it to mold onto my body once again. I grew in size, gained 5 more hearts, and now could throw out molten balls of clay.
Wait, what are you doing?
I quickly threw out my clay at the gas production machine, causing it to explode. The destruction caused Catnap to fly back, as they quickly escaped before I could reach them. We could work together, you know? But he was gone. I then looked back to the critters and saw that they had all begun to wake up.
Guys, you're okay.
You two saved us. Here.
Dog Day then threw me over a map of the factory.
Yep, and I know you've been trying to spot the Ice Doctor. I marked one of his machines I saw in there for you.
Perfect. On days 19 to 21, Baba led the other critters to safety as I followed the map to the toy store in the factory. There, I saw a large door was locking me out from another one of the Ice Doctor's machines. This shouldn't take long. I went to squeeze under the door, but it was completely sealed shut. Ugh. Guess I gotta find some other way to open this door then. I looked and saw the door was operated by batteries, but they were missing. I began to search around the shop until I found one of them sitting on a shelf and another hidden in a crate. All right, sweet. Just one more to go. I continued to search around the area as I found the last battery out in the Playtime lobby. But as I went to grab it, a large human with a gas mask came charging in the room.
Another stupid toy? Get over here!
The player shot out his grab pack hand and pulled me close to him and shocked me. Yeah!
Someone should have thrown you away a long time ago.
He tried to hit me at close range, so I blasted him back with my fire. But this only made him angrier. He shot out again, but this time struck the final battery and breaking it. No! On days 22 to 26, I continued to dodge the player's attacks as he did everything he could to tear me apart. I have to find another way to power that door. Wait, his electric hand. I blasted at the human again, causing him to stumble back. Come get me!
Oh, you're asking for it now.
The player rushed after me as I led them right to the door in the toy store.
Nowhere left for you to run, you freak.
Oh yeah? Why are you even here? Some kind of janitor or something? My words angered the player as he shot out another electrified grab pack attack. I dodged out of the way, causing his hand to hit the last battery slot.
What the? It's stuck!
The power surged through the door as its feedback shot down the player's arm and knocked him out. With that, the door finally opened. All right, that's one way to do it. I then went inside and destroyed the doctor's machine with my fire. Just 3 more to go. As I said this, Baba Chops came running in to find me.
Sweet! You broke another machine! And just in time. I wanted to show you something.
On days 27 to 29, I went with Baba as she brought me over to a hidden room in the factory where all of the other critters had set up tents.
Look, Doey, it's a whole new safe haven.
If it weren't for you, this wouldn't be possible. Everywhere else in the factory is basically an icebox.
I happily got settled into my new home with my friends by taking the time to make a fun dough home for myself. We then made sure there was room for anyone else we were to find in the future. But as we were finishing up, I noticed Poppy was running around in a panic.
Has anyone seen Kissy?
Over here!
I rushed over to see that a trail of pink fur led away from the room. Oh no, something must have took her. Without hesitation, I rushed down the trail and followed it until I started to see snow covering the ground. No. I finally came around the corner to see a large icy machine built into the center of the game station. On days 30 to 32, I snuck closer into the room as tons of the doctor's minions were keeping watch.
Next!
I watched in horror as a small toy walked into the center of the machine, and as a lever was flipped, the toy was transformed into an ice toy. This can't be happening.
Next!
There, forced into the machine by minions, was Kissy Missy. I have to save her. I dashed out of hiding, just as she was locked right inside of it.
Hostile toy detected!
The minions rushed over and kept slowing me down with their icy attacks, keeping me from reaching the machine. Kissy! But I was too late. The machine activated, twisting Kissy into a horrifying ice monster. No! In my rage, I let out a fiery burst, punching back all of the minions around me. But as I looked towards Kissy, she looked angry.
Detain hostile toy!
Under his command, Kissy rushed towards me and slammed me with a freezing attack. Yeah! All of the cold in the room was really starting to affect me, and I could feel my body begin to freeze up.
Good. Bring him to me.
On days 33 to 35, I woke up inside of a dark cell. What? Where am I? Suddenly, the screen flashed all around the room, and there was none other than the Ice Doctor himself.
Oh, you poor ignorant boy. You've tried so hard to stop me, but it was for nothing. As soon, this factory will be mine, as it will freeze in a single wipe.
No, I won't let you. I tried to break out of my cage, but before I could, I was shocked by a deadly blast from within.
So long, Dewey. Our little game was fun while it lasted.
The cell continued to blast me with electricity, and I knew that if I didn't get out soon, I was done for. That's when I saw a crack in the wall and was barely able to squeeze through. Phew! But as I looked up, I realized that Ice Kissy had taken notice. She rushed in to attack, so I shot out my molten clay, causing fire to stop her in her tracks. I gotta find a way out of here! I began to dash around the area, looking for any way I could to escape, when I ran into a room with another flaming clay hand. maybe I can. But before I could react, Kissy burst through the wall. She rushed in and hit me to the side. On days 36 to 39, Ice Kissy Missy stood over me, about to take me down. Kissy, wait! I know you're in there. It's me, Doey. My words made her hesitate, causing her to back away. Remember me? Poppy, every one of our friends. We have to save them. She looked confused and began to strike out freezing attacks around the area. Now's my chance. While she was distracted, I managed to run up to the hand and grab it. This caused me to upgrade. I gained 5 more hearts and felt my body grow as I gained control of the fire inside of me. This caused Kissy to be enraged as she charged in again. But I was ready for her this time though, and let out a burst of flames that hit her head on. Because of this, something happened. She was completely cured of the doctor's corruption. Thank goodness. But just then, we heard the doctor's minions coming down the hall because of the noise. Please tell me you know how to get out of here. Kissy nodded, and she led me towards the exit. We safely made it back to the new safe haven to reunite with the others.
Kissy, I'm so glad you're okay. What happened?
I told everyone about the machine and how my fire was able to save Kissy.
Of course, your fire really is the key to stopping him. And that gives me an idea. But for it to work, I'll need a gear from the Make-A-Friend machine.
On days 40 to 44, I quickly left Safe Haven and made my way to the Make-A-Friend machine. Alright, now to just grab the part and get out of here. But as I went to approach the machine, I hit a pressure plate? Not again. Suddenly, I was shot up into the air and came crashing down on the conveyor belts. Ugh, what the?
That was hilarious!
Huh? I turned around to see that Bunzo the bunny was laughing at me across the room. What exactly do you think you're doing?
I'm just having a little fun. Come on, don't be a spoiled sport.
Bunzo then hopped over and flipped a switch that caused the conveyor belt to start moving. That can't be good. As I tried to stay on the conveyors, toy grenades started to fall down around me, and they actually exploded. What kind of twisted game is this?
The best kind. The kind with stakes.
More and more explosions started to go off as I had to leap between the conveyor belts to avoid their blasts.
Oh, this is getting boring already. Stage 2.
Suddenly, I began to get pelted by snowballs that threatened to knock me off into the darkness below. Hey! I looked over and saw that Bunzo was using one of the doctor's machines to power his game. All right, I need to break that. On days 45 to 47, I continued to play Bunzo's twisted game while making it closer to the doctor's machine.
Dance, Doey! Dance!
Another explosion nearly knocked me off, but I got close enough to let out a burst of fire, which destroyed it. This caused everything to shut down, finally allowing me to jump back to safety.
Oh, I guess I need to make my game harder next time.
Do you even understand what's going on in the rest of the factory? Look, I just need a special gear from the Make-A-Friend machine. Do you know where it is?
Oh, that gear? Sorry, but someone already took it. They were bubbling something crazy about the jungle gym the whole time, too.
With that, I searched through the factory until finding the jungle gym. The place was full of large playground equipment, and across the room, I watched as Huggy Wuggy placed the gear I needed onto the wall. Huggy? What are you doing?
No, you can't be in here.
Suddenly, the gears beside Huggy began to spin as the door shut behind me.
I'm safe here, but if I let you out, you could tell the doctor, and I'm done for.
The lights began to flicker in the room, and Huggy used the darkness to hide from me.
I can't let you leave.
On days 48 to 52, I began to stealthily move around the room as Huggy was trying to hunt me down. I gotta get to that gear. I was about to run out of cover when the lights flickered off and on again. My fire then gave off light, telling Huggy exactly where I was.
I see you.
Oh no! I quickly made a dash for more cover to hide behind, but Huggy jumped down in front of me. He slashed into me, but before I could hit him back, he disappeared. I can't let him distract me. Wait, I have an idea. I continued to stealth around the room, and when the lights flickered off again, I shot out a glob of molten clay to the side, causing Huggy to rush to its location. I quickly ran up to the gear and pulled it from the wall.
What? No! That's mine!
He ran up and in his rage hit me through the wall into water treatment. Gah!
I've got you now!
He followed up with another attack, hitting me into the water. No! The water began to take me down to low hearts and stopped me from being able to stretch my way out. No, this can't be it. I can't die here. On days 53 to 56, I was extremely low on hearts, as the water was beginning to kill me. Huggy, please, help!
I'm sorry. I can't trust anyone anymore. You all work for him.
What? I don't? My anger built up inside of me as I let out the most powerful blast of fire I could. This evaporated all of the water. My blast also hit Huggy, sending him flying back.
Yeah! What was that?
I quickly bounced out of the pit and walked up to him. You see, I'm not like his ice minions. I want to stop him, and I could really use the help. Huggy finally understood and joined my team. With the gear in hand, the two of us were able to make our way back to Safe Haven when I heard something moving down the hall. Here, take this back to Poppy. I'll check it out. We split ways as I followed the footsteps to a furnace room, and there in the fire was another flaming clay hand. I went up to grab it until Ice Yarnaby slammed down in front of me.
Master said you escaped, and no one escapes Master!
On days 57 to 59, Yarnaby began to ruthlessly blast me with his ice attacks. However, in my upgraded form, I wasn't gonna go down so easily. I fought back with everything I had and quickly realized we were now evenly matched. Yarnaby, please! I know you're still a good toy deep down. We can stop the doctor together.
No! No one stops Master!
My words enraged him, causing him to send out more and more ice that my body couldn't resist. I was surely done for when Yarnaby was suddenly hit by a spray of red gas? Huh? I looked over to see that none other than Catnap had come to my rescue.
Harry, the hand!
Right! While Yarnaby was dazed, I ran up and grabbed the flaming hand. Because of this, I began to upgrade once again. I gained 5 more hearts and grew even stronger with powerful fire abilities. Awesome! Yarnaby had shaken out of his daze, as the red gas couldn't put him completely to sleep.
No!
He rushed in to take me down, but I shot out a new flaming strike attack. This hit the ground in front of him, causing him to fall deeper into the factory. Whoa, Catnap, you saved me.
I finally realized you were right. I felt horrible for what I did to the other critters. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. For now, let's get back to the others. On days 60 to 63, I made it safely back to Safe Haven with Catnap. When we got there, I saw that my friends had already set up a home for Huggy Wuggy. So I followed after them and made sure that Catnap had a nice comfy home to stay in as well.
I'm glad we finally got a big protector back.
Yeah, me too.
Good work, Doey. Me and Kissy are hard at work using that gear you got for us, but it'll take some time.
That's all right. I want to find a way to save Yarnaby. My fire alone still isn't strong enough.
I've got an idea. Come with me.
I went with Catnap, as they led me to a secure chamber with a large vault in the center.
This will lead you to some of the deepest parts of the factory. And down there is where they make all the red gas. With enough of it, I think I can put Yarnaby to sleep so you can finally save them.
Sweet. Now we just need to find a way to open the latch. I began to search around the room until I found a power node made from a grab pack. I wonder if I reached out with my fist and grabbed onto the note, causing my arms to be electrified. Yeah! I then looked around for somewhere to transfer the power when I saw it was high up in the back of the room. I was about to go towards it until large vines began to pop all around the area. Oh no! On day 64 to 68, the large vines began to slam down around me and Catnap as I tried to power the hatch. What are these things?
I don't know, but they can't be good. Hold on!
Catnap bravely ran up and started to slash them down, giving me an opening. I rushed up and bounced over to the power slot and punched it, causing the electricity to power the hatch.
Take the elevator and look for some gas barrels. We just need one for the plan to work.
On it! I quickly leapt down to the platform. But before I could turn it on, more vines appeared around and began to break it. No, wait! The vines slammed down again, breaking the platform and causing me to fall into the darkness below. Ah! Thankfully, my clay body allowed me to land safely down at the bottom of the elevator. Phew, that could have been bad. But as I looked up at my surroundings, I saw I was at the entrance of an underground lab with poppy flowers all around. Ahead of me was a strange door, which opened for me as I walked towards it. That's not creepy at all. I better be careful. I cautiously entered the room to see a massive dome full of more poppy flowers. And at the center was a tall poppy flower toy.
Hello there, Doey. I knew you'd make your way here eventually.
Wow, who are you?
I am the Poppy Defense System, tasked with watching over the most secure lab in the facility. You aren't coming to take any of my babies now, are you?
Without hesitation, the plant toy began to summon up more deadly vines around me. They began to slam down at me, knocking me back. Come on, can't we just talk?
No, I won't let you take a single one of my precious children.
I had no choice but to fight back as I burned away any vines that got in my way. That's when I came across one of the barrels Catnap was talking about. There it is. I ran towards it, but more vines tried to cut me off. I blasted them with my fire too. But when I accidentally hit the gas barrel, it exploded? Gas is flammable. Good to know.
Ah! How dare you!
The plant toy began to grow and change as it suddenly became a full-on giant plant. It began to blast out clouds of red gas that burst around me, causing me to get weaker and weaker. No, I need to get to another barrel. I carefully dodged around the attacks until grabbing another one and heading for the exit.
No! Give that back!
She was about to fire off another blast, but I was quicker and threw some of my molten clay directly into her mouth. This caused a chain reaction that started to explode the red gas all around the room. I better get out of here.
No! No!
I barely made it through the vault door as the interior of the lab went up in flames. All right. I hope Catnap really just needs one barrel. On days 74 to 77, I made it back to Catnap with the final barrel of red gas.
This will do it! Now, while you were gone, I couldn't find where Yarnaby was, so we're going to have to draw them out.
Well then, there's no time to lose. The two of us set out to make a trap for Yarnaby and found the perfect cave to do it in.
All right, the gas is all set up to fill the small cave. All you need to do is get Yarnaby in here, and I'll close the doors on them.
Now's the hard part. I went out into the factory and began to shoot out around the halls, blasting fire all around. Oh, Yarnaby! Look at me! I'm such a helpless little toy! Just then, cold ice started to freeze the floor at the end of the hallway.
You die now!
Yarnaby recklessly started to charge right after me. I probably could have thought a better way to do this. I began to run back to the cave as clumps of ice formed from the ceiling and crashed down everywhere. Yarnaby was relentless, but they were playing right into our trap. I dashed back into the cave just as Yarnaby caught up and hit me with their ice. Ah! All right, come at me, you frozen caterpillar. On day 78 to 80, we began to fight as Yarnaby and I's abilities clashed. My fire was slowly starting him away, but each attack of his caused me to move slower and slower. Come on, Yarnaby! Don't you want to save the factory?
Master is saving factory!
They ran up again, and with another powerful frostbite, I didn't think I could beat them. That's when Catnap leapt in and slashed them back, finally hitting them further into the small cave. Because of this, Yarnaby lashed out and struck Catnap, almost freezing them instantly.
I can't shut the doors!
I'm on it! I ran up and morphed into the large clay wall, trapping Yarnaby within. They began to slash into me from the inside, but I could hear the red gas starting to fill the room. Please work! Please work! After a few more moments, Yarnaby stopped attacking, as the red gas had completely put them to sleep. I went up and used all of my remaining strength to let out another burst over them. This caused all the ice to melt away and completely turn Yarnaby back to normal.
Oh, whoa, what happened?
It's all right. You're safe now. The doctor can't control you anymore.
The doctor? Yes, I need to show you something. Hurry!
On days 81 to 85, I went with Yarnaby as Catnap headed back with the others. After some time, he led me right to the 5th machine, powering the Ice Doctor.
Yep, he tasked me to watch over this one personally. But now, I'll do anything to stop him.
I went up and blasted into the machine with everything I had, destroying it. However, as I did, one of the screens lit up with the Ice Doctor's eye.
Bravo, Doey. You finally surpassed my guard dog.
Yeah, and next, we're coming for you.
Is that so? How will you do that if you never leave this room in the first place?
As he said this, the room began to shake. The icy floor suddenly collapsed. The two of us began to run as fast as we could, leaping between the cold platforms to get back to the exit. Blocks of ice then crashed down in front of us, completely trapping us in.
No, no!
We both tried our best, but even my fire couldn't melt through.
It's over for me, Doey, but you can make it. Squeeze through the cracks. Hurry!
But we just got you back. I can't.
There's no time!
I looked back as the floor continued to collapse. With no other choice, I squeezed through the cracks in the ice, leaving Yarnaby behind. No! I'll make sure the doctor pays for this, for everything he's done. On days 86 to 90, I was on my way back to the others in Safe Haven when suddenly more ice and snow froze over everything in sight. What's happening? I ran towards the source to see a ton of the doctor's minions were gathering in the game station, where his robotic form stood in the middle of them all.
My wonder toys and creations. It is finally our time to rid this factory of its filth. Without their precious defender, the resistance will finally be crushed within my grasp, and no one will stop us.
His minions began to blast out more frost, covering more and more of the factory in their ice.
Once my final machine finishes its calculations, this entire building will be wiped clean of its warmth. All we need to do is hunt down the survivors.
No! His last machine. We need to find it before it can freeze everything.
Motion detected!
All of his minions went off high alert and began to search the area. I can't do this alone. I need the rest of the toys. On days 91 to 94, I safely escaped back to Safe Haven and told the others what I saw.
Oh no. Yarnaby!
They didn't deserve this.
No, they didn't. But we won't let their sacrifice be in vain. We'll stop the doctor before he hurts anyone else.
Doey, come on, our machine is ready.
I went with Poppy as she showed me another room with a fire machine inside.
I may have taken some inspiration from the doctor, but this one is good. Now just step inside.
Okay. I hesitantly walked inside as the glass shut behind me.
Now this will only hurt a teeny it. Kissy, pull the lever.
Wait, what was that? Before she could respond, Kissy activated the machine that began to blast me with overwhelming heat. The fire began to cook into my body as I felt it surge me with power. I now had 40 hearts and grew to become the most powerful fire toy in the factory.
Pretty cool, huh? Now your fire should be just as strong as the doctor's.
Sweet. But I heard him say something about his last machine. We need to stop it before anything else.
Let me handle that. You just work on distracting him.
On days 95 to 99, I headed back to the frozen game station to face down the Ice Doctor and his minions.
Well. It seems the little toy has survived once again.
I'm not gonna stop until I take you down. I can't let you keep hurting all of these toys.
So brave, Doey. Let's see if I can wipe the hope from your eyes too. Destroy them!
The Doctor's minions began to rush in, trying to use their ice attacks to take me down. However, in my newly upgraded form, I barely felt a chill. Ha ha! Is that all you got? I began to blast through waves of the minions, taking groups of them out with a single flaming strike. But that's when I heard Catnap coming into the back of the room.
We found it, Doey! The last machine is in his lair!
Yes!
What? No!
The Doctor began to blast out at me as I tried to escape. But before he could stop me, he was completely covered in red gas.
Ah, you idiot! Your gas doesn't affect me.
It doesn't need to. It just needs to distract you.
Ah! Freeze them all! I'll get the other one.
On day 100, I quickly made my way back to the Doctor's lair and squeezed through the doors to his main computer room. There in the center was Poppy next to the last machine.
Right here. But I need your firepower to break it.
Already ahead of you. I went up to destroy the machine, but suddenly the Doctor slammed down in front of me, knocking the two of us back.
You think you're clever. I've been one step ahead this entire time. You can't defeat me!
The Doctor sent out a blast, which froze Poppy instantly. I charged in as I felt my rage fueling from within. We began to fight as the Doctor's ice was far more powerful than anything I had faced before. However, I knew it was on the line, and I wasn't gonna let any more of my friends down. I blasted the Doctor back, slamming him into his final machine. Because of this, I saw his robot body begin to malfunction. Right, the machine is powering him. Before I could blast him again, the Doctor slammed down a block of ice on top of me, fully encasing me.
I will admit this was fun. The challenge you gave me was inspiring. But it's too late for you and all your little friends. I'm sorry you won't be alive to see what I make of my frozen kingdom.
His words enraged me even more as the fire within started to build up.
What? No! Stop!
He tried to hit me again with the final attack, but I let out a massive burst of flames that washed over his entire lair. The fire melted all of the ice and struck his final machine, finally defeating the Doctor for good. Yes, I did it!